Hey, this is Joshua with the vlog. Got really busy last night and yesterday, so didn't really have a chance to do the vlog. So um, the current political climate in America is kind of weird, um, and there's this really decent sized vein of thought that those who voted third party cost Hillary Clinton the vote. However, that isn't quite accurate because the number of people who voted for um, third party candidates, if you were to put them in with the correct political ideology that they would have voted for, that wouldn't really matter overall, um, because the significant numbers who voted third party weren't in the right states. And I was one of those who voted third party, and I voted third party in Minnesota. So really, my vote didn't really tract from Clinton. She still won the state. She was going to win the state. It's a foregone conclusion. Um, I just could not bring myself to vote for her for several policy substance reasons. Don't get me wrong, she would have been better at with the environment. She would have been better with healthcare to an extent. Um, she would have definitely been better with appointing a Supreme Court justice, although she probably wouldn't actually have gotten a chance because uh, looking at it from political science perspective, it's not uncommon for a new Democratic president to appoint someone who's much more liberal than they are. For instance, when Barack Obama had his first chance, his first pick was Sonia Sotomayor, and she, on the political scale, is much more liberal than Obama is. So there is that to think about. So we would have gotten Merrick Garland, who by right that's Neil Gorsuch's seat is Merrick Garland, but Chuck Grassley and Mitch McConnell and the like. Um, and ultimately, I could not support Hillary Clinton for several key reasons. One, she was much more hawkish uh, than I would have liked. She was much more into the idea of using military force even more than we need to without declaring war. Um, and I don't want to have a war with Syria, and I don't want to have a war with Russia, which could happen. It's not very likely, it's a possibility, and I just don't want that risk. Another thing is she is okay with. To go back to that vote for war, she voted for the Iraq War, which was a horrible idea, and it took her a long time to apologize. I don't think she actually has apologized. Um, she's also pro government surveillance without a warrant. She voted for the Patriot Act. She didn't really put forward any policy ideas to kind of curtail it, and that to me is something that needs to be done. Um, and on top of that, she's also she's also a little bit more. She's also a lot more beholden to her big political donors through her PACs, super PACs, and large donations. For instance, while she is better on healthcare and that she would keep the status quo, she wouldn't go further and improve the healthcare system for, say, like going to a single payer system, which I think would be a lot better option for what we have for our medical needs in this country. She also is not for uh, universal K through bachelor's education, at least on the public scale, um, which would save countless people large amounts of money. And don't get me wrong, she probably would have been better on student loan debt, but she wouldn't really fix the problem. Um, Not that that really would have affected me. I went to a private school, so I think that if public schools were free, private schools would adjust their prices accordingly to stay competitive. She also was a little bit bad on the First Amendment in that she would have that. Granted, in the past she proposed legislation to criminalize flag burning. I don't know if she would still stay that way, but it's something that was concerning. And her environmental record isn't exactly the best. She did export fracking around the world. Granted, she still would be better on the environment than Trump is, but you know. And her economic policy favors more NAFTA, CAFTA like trade deals, and that's also not very good for the economy. And would she have been better than Trump? Yes. Would she do things to improve the country? More likely, yeah. Would she have done things that would have harmed the country? Of course. Um, every president, to some extent, does that. But I, I feel she would have done more to harm the country than than would have been acceptable for me, and that's why I voted third party. My hope was that she would have won by a slim margin, and that would have been a wake up call telling her that she doesn't have a right to being president. She has to earn it, and I hoped that would have changed the Democratic establishment's minds. Obviously, losing hasn't done that, so I guess we're gonna have to change it from within. Um, that's gonna be a hard fight.